Hey guys, Raft here. Okay, so you know how I said I was gonna put a little thing on my screen, and I was gonna wait for my friends? They're all asleep. It's 12 a.m. So you know what's gonna be on my screen? Your boy. Yeah, this is what I'm doing in my life. Great. All right, continuing. I never even logged off this game. It's the same night. I'm gonna upload this 3 days later or some stupid crap. Ow. Because by the time y'all are seeing this, I'm probably rock climbing or getting ready to rock climb, or I've already done it and I'm dying. Okay, his mind had to crack eventually. Maybe it was already happening. For a second he thought he saw a girl out his window, but no, there was nothing. Of course there wasn't. He was really losing it. So if you didn't watch the last episode, go watch it. First of all, our dude's clinically depressed, John here, and he's got a yandere girl like chasing him around another day. He has to. Whoa, Jesus, my chair just about killed itself. He had to face it somehow. It seems impossible, but until the moment he had finally stumbled into class. School was the usual mindless buzz. There was a job fair count in third period, as if that meant anything at all. Sorry, I was checking to see if my mic is still doing good. Almost everyone in their school who either go to work for Koi Tech or move away or stay in town and become unemployed. John wondered which one of those would happen to him, but from the distance, as if he was thinking about some person he barely knew. His grades were good enough to get into Koi Tech, but the process was so competitive that he didn't have the energy for that. He couldn't imagine moving away, looking for a job in a strange city. Most mornings, that the most he could imagine. God, I have hiccups. The most he could imagine was surviving the day. But his father wouldn't support him, and his mother didn't want him. Once he graduated, there'd be no way he could stay with either of them. What would happen to him? Would he just become homeless, sit there on the street begging for change until one day he froze to death? Maybe that was all he deserved. John, are you alright? Yes, sir. I'm paying attention, honestly. I didn't ask that. I asked if you were alright. I'm fine. Well, be sure to talk to your counselor if you're feeling bad, alright? We're lucky to have someone like Mrs. Smith with us. I don't trust Mrs. Smith at all. He had to keep it together. He remembered the lesson, but if people were starting to think something was wrong, his control was slipping. He had enough time to visit his lockers in between periods. There was more Pakistani there. He still had an extra dose left for the day. His locker was on the bottom row. Ugh, I hate that. I hate it. Because everyone's in your way if you have your locker on the bottom row. I don't even rent lockers anymore. We had to in middle school and it sucked. It was honestly the worst thing ever. I was late to my last period every freaking time, and I got detention almost every other week because of that stupid crap. But anyways, if your locker is on the bottom row, good God. At high school, I didn't even rent a locker. I'm like $2 so I can waste time. Ooh boy, I'm not being late. I'm just gonna carry my crap. And then in high school, your backpack weighs like 35 pounds, so it's like, good God. His locker was on the bottom row, so I always had to bend down, and there was a piece of paper sitting in the middle of his locker. Cheer up. Ow, my nose is about to start bleeding, I think. No, your boy's good. And that was all it said. Nothing on the back side. No other clues. Probably a girl's handwriting. Who left it? Hey, did you see anyone mess with my locker? Did you say something? Did something get stolen? There's way too many guys around here for me to notice. It might have been a girl leaving a note. Like a love note. Keep dreaming, John. You think any girl is going to love you? Oh my God. He needs to start fighting people. No, of course, no one could love me. Or him, sorry, Jesus. So you didn't say anything. Okay, thanks. John needs to freaking sack up and start beating people. That's what needs to happen. I mean, I don't endorse fighting in schools, but if someone's talking all that crap and they're pretty much saying you suck and no one likes you, it's time to be like, okay, what's good? Hey, John, you gonna tell me she's a Canadian? I'm heading back to class. See you later. Oh, I get that. Yeah, I have a girlfriend. She's just not here at this school. All that bull. She lives in another city. And she's hot, right? Your imaginary girlfriend sounds amazing. John knew he should probably just take some more Paxtine and head back to class, yet he was still holding on to the paper. He wasn't sure why. It really could be a prank, one of the guys trying to trick him. If so, they would have probably followed by another fake note asking him to come to under that stupid confession tree where they let him wait and laugh at him. For a moment, he saw the girl watching him. Could it have been her? By the time he got to class, John had a new theory. She felt sorry for him. He must have been looking pretty pathetic, and she recognized his misguided good intentions enough to feel pity. The rest of the school days, oh god. The rest of the school day passed in more of a blur than usual. He might be delusional, but part of John still hoped it wasn't a prank. He headed to his locker, not daring to imagine anything, and there was another paper waiting there for him. They shouldn't say those things about you. Oh. Oh, and the music. Someone's about to die. It didn't even look like the same person's handwriting. The first had been a beautiful calligraphy. This one was a hurried scrawl. If it was a prank, he no longer had any idea where they were going with this. He already had been beating himself up over saying the wrong things, so this was way too much for John. He headed straight home to get some sleep before he cracked completely. What the frick is going on? This music needs to chill out. The next day, John went as early as possible and approached his locker anxiously. I just got a notification. He wasn't sure what he wanted to find. There was no note this time, but there was a chocolate heart wrapped in foil set in the exact center at the bottom of his locker. John stared at it for a while, then he slipped it into his pocket and headed to class, even though he knew he would be far too early. There was no way he could eat it. If it really was a prank, they might have slipped a laxative or something inside of it. How did they get into your locker? That was the kind of thing his friends thought was funny. But if it was that girl, it didn't matter now. What mattered was that someone clearly knew his locker combination and could get it whenever they wanted. That was a real problem. Yeah, no crap. He knew he could come up with a solution before tomorrow, but what? Try to replace the lock. Leave a note. John cut a small sheet of paper from one of his notebooks and wrote "thanks" on the inside of it and set it in his locker. If it was a prank, that ought to throw the pranksters off. And if it was someone who meant well, hopefully they just take it normal. Okay, yep. I have to drink. I'm about to have a stroke. He headed home once his homework was done, quickly fell asleep. The next morning, he thought he spotted someone outside his window, but there was no one there. Why does he keep saying that crap? I'm freaking out. Quit. These freaking energy drinks make me paranoid. Anyways, when he opened his locker the next day, the note was gone. Music, chill out. If I'm about to die. Making an effort to set. Oh God, my nose burns. I swear I didn't snort no friggin', what is this, black cherry venom? Didn't do it. Energy drink. Making an effort to set the mystery of the locker aside, John went with his friends to the rooftop for lunch. They spread out on one side, enjoying the sight of the trees below. Dude, I wish our school let us on the roof. There'd be too many people trying to kill themselves, so our school's like, no. I'm dead serious, too. Everybody in our school's depressed. Good thing it's summer, I have hiccups. Making an effort. Yeah, we've said this before. Midway through the meaningless conversation, John noticed Liz? I'm gonna say Liz. It's probably Lizzie. That Lizzie was watching him from the far side of the roof. Her gaze was even more intense than before, so he uncomfortably tried to ignore her and focused on the conversation. Looks like the confession tree's in full bloom, huh? You really believe those stories, true love and all that? It works, man. I've got a buddy who swears. Oh, okay. Well, if he kept doing it, then it's not true love, is it? Come on, people have been confessing under that tree for years. You seriously think everyone would confess under that tree if it did nothing? Man, I think the tree. I think it's a tree of lust. It doesn't grant true love. Okay, this is awkward for me to read. Even though I read all of Doki Doki and that got real weird. If that was true, way more guys would be into it. It's mostly girls from what I've seen. What do you think, John? I don't know. Oh man, don't be that way. You dream of a girl confessing you under that tree, don't you? Yeah, like that crazy stalker chick. I mean, it'd make your heart go all fluttered if she confessed, wouldn't it? The magic tree. The tree is magic, man. I'm telling you. Even a sad sack like you could get lucky if you confess there. Don't be stupid. It's just a tree. Whoa, someone's got their panties in a twist. I'm telling you, everyone goes there to... Only because people like you keep telling these stories. There's nothing magical about the tree. People just believe it's special because everyone else says it is. Girls think the tree is romantic, so of course they're more likely to agree. And guys would have to turn someone down in front of an audience. That's all it is. What's wrong with you today? With an attitude like that, you're never gonna get a girl. You insulted the tree. What? That's great, dude. That's something my friends would say. That day, John couldn't get to his therapy session appointment fast enough. Miss Smith smiled at him when he came in, but immediately saw he was unhappy. Are you okay, John? Perhaps you should be on a stronger formula. No. Well, our session should make you feel better. Lie down and get comfortable. Sorry, my mic is freaking out. Mrs. Smith, does Paxine have any unusual side effects? I sure hope not. Koei has the highest of standards for every drug it puts out. The Paxine is nearing its final clinical trials. Are you having any vision problems? John laid back and stared out the window. Was he really seeing differently? Or was it just all in his head? He stared a long time before he opened his mouth and started talking. Everything just feels so gray. So you're having vision problems? Not literally gray. It's just the sky today. I remember when I was younger, I always thought clouds were beautiful. Now it's like there's just nothing there, nothing that matters. I look up and I just don't care. That sounds more likely to be a mental issue than... Why don't you get more relaxed and talk about it? Taking a deep breath, John did his best. As usual, after talking to Mrs. Smith for long enough, he felt not better necessarily, but at least not miserable. Their session went by in a flash, and then he had to head home. He shuffled through his routine easily enough, slept fitfully, and then returned to school barely more rested. But when he arrived, he found a huge crowd standing and staring. What's going on? You know the tree students like to confess under... Hold on, I'm checking how long I've been recording. Jesus, I gotta friggin' end this recording. Students like confessing under? The words made John shiver, even though he thought he wouldn't... entirely sure. He shifted to look through the crowd, and then he saw it. RIP confession tree. Part of the tree was still burning. The rest was char and ash, coated in the ground near it. His throat was dry, as if all the ashes were filling it. What happened? The cops were coming to check it out, but the shop teacher said it looked like arson. Someone covered the tree in gasoline and burned it down. See, this is why we need cameras. I've been telling the principal for years, but he doesn't listen to me. No one thinks. Wow. Okay, I'm going to save, and that's where we're going to end this video. So, someone didn't like the confession tree, clearly. Freaking confession tree, always making people angry. But anyways, hope you guys video. I'm going to play all of this game tonight, maybe. I don't know how long it is. And hopefully finish it. And, I'll have videos for a month set out. So anyways, hope you guys video. Leave a like, and I'll see you for the video. Peace out. Bye-bye.